They didn't see it. They didn't hear it. But the danger was already there. Invisible, lethal. A simple buzzing in the sky, and in seconds. Drones are transforming the battlefield like never before. Tanks that once dominated are now exposed, and soldiers must adapt to this new threat. How is this technology redefining combat in Ukraine? And what does it mean for the future of modern warfare? Stay until the end to understand how this strategy is changing everything. What you are about to see contains real war footage from the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. It is presented strictly for documentary purposes. We do not encourage violence. Recommended for 18+. In this documentary, recorded by drones and soldiers' GoPros, we closely follow the reality of the front lines, and drones carry out precision operations against military targets, redefining modern combat. In these images, we see Ukrainian forces carrying out an operation against Russian troops in the Kursk region, located in southwestern Russia. This area, which borders Ukraine, has played a strategic role in the conflict. Drone footage reveals one of these combatants injured on the ground, though his exact condition remains uncertain. Initially, the combatant remains motionless, but upon noticing the presence of the drone, he makes a sudden attempt to flee. At that moment, the drone takes off again, tracking the target's movements. The Ukrainian operator carefully evaluates the situation before acting. Upon noticing that the combatant attempts to retrieve his weapon, the drone pilot reacts immediately and initiates the offensive. The device swiftly moves toward the target. When the opportunity arises, the drone locks onto the target and executes the final strike, successfully completing the mission. In the village of Andriivka, located in the Bakhmut Rayon, in the Donetsk region of eastern Ukraine, clashes have been intense throughout the conflict. This location has become one of the most contested points on the front line, serving as the stage for high-impact military operations. During one of the most recent battles, troops from the 2nd Assault Battalion of the 5th Unit, together with specialized operators from the same brigade, carried out a coordinated offensive to dismantle an enemy assault group. The action was meticulously planned and resulted in significant consequences for the enemy's advance. One of the most striking moments of the operation occurred when a Ukrainian drone crossed into territory controlled by Russian forces. Ukrainian forces operate under constant pressure, employing TM-62 anti-tank mines in their defensive strategies. These mines are strategically placed within enemy lines, significantly hindering the advance of opposing troops and creating effective barriers on the battlefield. A significant innovation in this strategy is the use of drones for remote mine deployment. Heavy drones, codenamed Baba Yaga, were developed by Ukraine in response to the 2022 invasion. Among the most widely used models are the Aerorozvidka R-18 and the Nemesis, designed for precision attacks, especially at night. Equipped with thermal cameras and capable of carrying explosive payloads of up to 15 kilograms, these UAVs play a crucial role in disrupting supply lines and limiting enemy movements. Their silent flight and precise strikes make them fundamental strategic tools in modern combat. The TM-62 is a circular anti-tank mine containing approximately 7.5 kilograms of explosives. Studies demonstrate its effectiveness against heavily armored vehicles, making it a critical asset in military operations. The adaptation of this technology to modern warfare tactics has provided Ukraine with greater operational flexibility. Deploying these mines in strategic locations can force enemy units to halt their advances, offering a crucial tactical advantage. Reports from the 37th Marine Brigade indicate that a large Russian military convoy was identified near the village of Ula in the Donetsk region. Information suggests that this movement aimed to enter the area to carry out a large-scale offensive operation. However, sources indicate that Ukrainian forces had already anticipated this possibility and implemented a strategic defense plan. Preventive measures were taken, including the preparation of routes with pre-installed explosive devices. During the convoy's advance, one of the armored vehicles reportedly triggered one of these mines, resulting in a high-impact explosion that destabilized the troop formation. Following the incident, the remaining vehicles halted their movements, creating a situation of disorganization. Reports indicate that Ukrainian forces took advantage of this moment to execute a coordinated action, employing artillery units and drone attacks. The series of impacts hit Russian military vehicles and troop transports, compromising the continuity of the operation. In light of this scenario, some units attempted to retreat but were monitored by Ukrainian drones, allowing for precision strikes against withdrawing targets. Some forces sought shelter in nearby areas, but according to information, most were neutralized or dispersed within a short period. After the confrontation, reconnaissance operations were conducted to identify any remaining movements. Records indicate that, with the cessation of attacks, the area remained engulfed in smoke and debris, marking the failure of the Russian incursion. The 2S-4 Tulpan is a 240mm self-propelled mortar developed in Russia. Recognized as one of the most powerful weapons in the Russian arsenal, it has been extensively used in the conflict. Its deployment reflects Russia's offensive strategies throughout the war, often being operated alongside air defense systems and armored units to maximize its effectiveness on the battlefield. This weapon represents a significant threat, providing heavy fire support against armored vehicles and strategic enemy positions. In response, Ukraine has continuously implemented measures to neutralize these units, developing effective tactics to counter large-scale weaponry. The use of modern and versatile systems, high-precision drones, and the integration of air defenses supplied by allied nations have been essential in reducing the impact of these attacks. Its ability to launch high-caliber munitions makes it a crucial component of Russian operations, reinforcing offensive lines and causing significant damage to enemy positions. The 155th Naval Infantry Brigade of the Russian Federation is a highly trained unit specializing in amphibious landings. The recorded footage captures a unique moment. One of the soldiers, upon noticing the presence of the drone, makes a visual reference to the equipment just moments before being hit. The unmanned aircraft continues its mission, now pursuing another combatant attempting to flee. After the first strike, the soldier momentarily manages to take cover, but further attack attempts follow. During the second and third strikes, the escape attempt proves unsuccessful. Reports indicate that the 155th Brigade has suffered severe attrition in combat, having been reconstituted multiple times with new recruits and equipment in an effort to maintain its operational capacity amid the challenges of the conflict. The 65th Motorized Brigade operated defense systems in the Zaporizhzhia region, a strategic area in southeastern Ukraine that has been the scene of intense battles in the conflict against Russia. The city, of great industrial and logistical importance, is home to the largest nuclear power plant in Europe, which, as of 2025, remains under Russian control. During one of its reconnaissance missions, the unit identified the presence of Buk M3 systems, a modern medium-range air defense system developed by Russia. These batteries pose a significant threat to Ukrainian aviation, but the increasing use of drones and Western-supplied missiles has reduced their effectiveness on the battlefield. To operate efficiently, Buk M3 systems must remain well concealed. However, the region's geographical conditions posed challenges for Russian troops. The sparse vegetation and presence of dry trees made it easier for Ukrainian drones to detect the batteries. Once the targets were located, the drone operators determined the optimal attack points. The first FPV drone pilot locked onto the target, resulting in a powerful explosion. The first Buk M3 was immediately neutralized. Shortly after, a new assault was planned. Another FPV drone was precisely directed at the target, causing another massive explosion. The third and last Buk M3 system remained intact. Determined to complete the mission, Ukrainian operators launched another drone, which flew at high speed toward the target. As a result, Russia's air defense capabilities in the region were significantly weakened, leaving its forces more vulnerable to future aerial attacks. Before the next battle unfolds, hit that like button. Don't miss what's coming.